AI is ready to do 100% of the work, but humans are not ready to use it properly to make
it 100%. 2026 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಂತಾನೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವೆಂತ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ?
I gave the cheat sheet. What I'm looking at when I'm hiring, right? So you know what you have to do to get hired.
I want to know ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಿವ್ಯಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ ಎಐ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ.
Anything that takes a lot of hard work will be solved by agents.
What might be the jobs that might get replaced in next 3 years?
I won't say replaced,
Okay.
but it'll change the way how it works right now.
Okay.
I think one is
First of all, thank you so much, sir, for coming on your busy schedule. I have to tell you, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಳೆ ನೀವು ಸಿಂಗಾಪುರಿಗೆ ಹೊರಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಅದರ ನಡುವಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೇಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಸರ್.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. It's just a pleasure, sir.
ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಯಾರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು I want to be here for community in Mangalore.
I know, sir. I know. You have been working closely on so much of communities. We'll talk about that bit later. So this is a goldest opportunity for my audience to listen from you, sir. Yakandre you have been a pioneer and you have been doing this from 18 plus years in this industry. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 13 plus years ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಅಪ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ಗೂ ನೀವು ಕಾಲಿಟ್ರಿ. Then again you went back to Infi, and then you probably now working in one of the best company in Mangalore easily, sir, or the coastal line, the Nivyas. So there are so many people who wants to get into Nivyas. I know them personally because ನಮ್ಮ Microdegree students ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಹಲವಾರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ Nivyas ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದವರು ಕೂಡ. ಅದಲ್ಲದೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಹಲವಾರು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಜೂನಿಯರ್ಸ್, mid level engineers, because I interact more with mid level and senior engineers now. So when we talk, they ask me, Nivyas ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ, ನಾವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವಾಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಗೋ ಟು ಕಂಪನಿ ಫಾರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ guys, sir. So it's a pleasure having you here and talking to you. So let's get into the thick of things, sir. Let's not have more of kind of an intro or make my audience feel or our audience feel ಕೇಳಪ್ಪ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. So let's get into the thick of things. So first thing, sir, I want to know a few things about generative AI. Then slowly we'll move into cloud infra and probably DevOps, the go-to thing now, right? Sir, ನೀವೊಂದು ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇವಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇದ್ರಿ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಡೆವಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಐ ಟಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್. ಈಗ ಜೆನ್ ಎ ಐ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಅದೇ ರೆಟ್ರೋಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್, ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ಹೈಪ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳೋದು, ಒಂದು ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೇ, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ನೀವು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್?
Throughout these years there are lot of technology, ತುಂಬಾ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸರ್.
ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಇವನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ we used to use axe and cut the tree.
Correct.
Now you have chainsaw.
Correct.
Right? ಈಗ 10 ಜನ ಮಾಡೋದ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಬ್ಬ 10 ದಿನ ಮಾಡೋದ್ ಕೆಲಸ 2 ಗಂಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Correct.
So that is also a technology level.
Correct.
So things, the speed at which all these things come, go, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ it differs.
Correct.
Right? So cloud infra adoption ಇರುತ್ತೆ. It took a long time. Right? So ನಾನು my life in Infi saw that adoption.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, that's
13 years saw that adoption. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ AWS started roughly around the time ನಾನು Infosys ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಾಗ.
Okay.
Right? But the thought started there. But slowly and steadily the adoption started. ಈಗ ಒಂದು 2015-16 ಆಗುವಾಗ I think there was realization. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಬಟ್ GenAI feels different. Correct. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ I think that hype cycle or that unknown uncertainty ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ, ತುಂಬಾ it was a very small period.
Correct.
Right? ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 2022 and 2023 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾಟ್ ಜಿಪಿಟಿ ಬಂತು.
Correct.
That is when people started realizing or hearing about a word called GenAI.
Correct.
But by the time it is 2025, which is like 2 years, we started seeing production implementation.
Very much, sir. Very much.
So the hype cycle ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, that was the smallest for generative AI.
Correct.
And it has gone to different stages very quickly. see, hype cycle for a technology, I think Gartner releases the quadrant or the hype metrics.
Correct.
Right? And in their quadrant also, generative AI as a technology has moved very fast.
Correct.
Okay. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ we started with generative AI, then we started with agents, now we have moved to agentic AI, and ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು 2 ವರ್ಷದ ನಡುವಲ್ಲೇ ಆಯ್ತು. It didn't take a lot of time to finish that. So hype cycle, I think it is past that. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ we have done a lot of production implementations. ನೀವು ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ AI ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So it's been a long time since we reached that stage.
Yes. ಸೊ ಫೇರ್ ಎನಫ್ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ನಾವೀಗ ಹಲವಾರು ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ AI ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಸರ್. ಈಗ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಡೇ ಇನ್ ಡೇ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು. ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬರೀತೇನೆ ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ರೈಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಬ್ಲಾಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಫ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ಕೂಡ ವಿ ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ AI. ಸೊ ಇದೊಂದು ಬಸ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಗಿಂತ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ನೋ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಿವ್ಯಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ AI ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಇಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಹೇಳುವಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ? ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿಗ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್. ಇದು ಹೇಳುವಷ್ಟು ಉಂಟಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಬಬಲ್, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಟ್ ಪಾಪ್ ಎನಿ ಸಮ್ ಡೇ ಸೂನ್? ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ AI ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಸರ್?
You might be surprised that we do a lot of generative.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you might be really surprised. Now, there are 2 places where we use generative AI.
Okay, sir.
Just generally group ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, one is for development and for consumption.
Correct.
Right? When I say for development, ನಾವೀಗ ಕೋಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So we use some tools that help us do it faster.
Correct.
Right? ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಟು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ದಟ್ ಜರ್ನಿ, we have started using generative AI.
Oh, nice.
But to what level it differs. ಈಗ ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ generative AI is ಮಾಡಿ, I don't need developers. People have fired developers just saying that we are going to do this with generative AI.
Correct.
We have not reached that stage.
Okay.
Right? But we have reached a stage where we have good 30% increase in productivity from generative AI. Right? So we have seen people require less time to create the same amount of code. But we still need intelligent people.
Correct.
We can't do away from it.
Correct.
It's still an assistant where we need oversight from humans.
Correct.
And ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
ಸೊ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಟೂಲ್ ತರ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿ.
ಹೇಗಂದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಒಬ್ರಿದ್ದಾರೆ,
ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ.
ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ, he will do it first. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು.
ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್, ಐ ನೋ ಐ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಟೂ ಮಚ್, ಬಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ AI ಕೋಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆರ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್?
ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 30%. 30% ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, we are tracking around 10 lakh lines of code per month. Out of the 20 projects that we are doing, that we are tracking how much all our developers who are enabled with AI are generating code through AI tools.
Crazy, sir. Because you're talking about how many people in a team, sir?
We are talking about around 200 to 400 people who are AI enabled now, which are expanding.
Okay.
And I'm talking about only Mangalore alli, Udupi alli iddaru. So as part of our larger ecosystem, we have a lot of people.
Correct.
But I'm talking about the small group of people who are working on Google Cloud.
Okay.
So
that itself is 400.
That itself is 400. That is 400 out of our 800 people. So 50% who are
already
day in day out use generative AI for development.
Notice guys, 30% of the production code ಅನ್ನು ಅವರು ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ AI ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೀತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯೂಜ್, and probably it might only extend in coming future. That's what we can
and
hope
tools
for.
are getting better.
Always getting better, and we recently saw that in our AI Impact Summit which held few days back, sir. I think the tools, what we emergent AI ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ವಮ್ AI ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, whatever the examples, whatever we have seen, I think it is only going to get better and much better. Awesome. So that's a wealth of information there for you guys. So next ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಅಥವಾ ನನಗೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ. Assume he is a developer working in any IT domain with 2 to 5 years of work experience. ಸೊ ಅವರು ಆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಜಾಬ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ ತಾವು ಹೇಳೋದು ಕೋರ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಡೀಪ್ ಡೈವ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ಡಬಲ್ ಡೌನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಅಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ ಎ ಅನ್ನು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾ, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೋತ್?
I think it is a mix of both.
Okay.
Right. So generative AI will always be there. ಈಗ Anthropic CEO ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ he tells it very often. AI is ready to do 100% of the work, but humans are not ready to use it properly to make
it 100%.
Correct. Right. So that is the only thing that is stopping us from using AI.
Yeah.
So you need to know fundamental. What is stopping us from using it 100% is the developer needs to be strong on fundamentals.
Correct.
ಈಗ fundamentals can be any language, programming language irbodu, or it can be any tech like front end tech or back end tech or DevOps.
Correct.
Right. So you need to be strong in your fundamentals, right? So once you are strong in your fundamentals, then you can utilize generative AI to improve your strength.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ you have to be fundamentally very strong before using AI and knowing what is better. ಈಗ ನಾವು just last question ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ that we are using AI tools, and the tool that we use is not important. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ we have started with Copilot, Gemini Code Assist. Now we have moved to Windsurf. Now we are looking at cloud work. So tools are changing, right? So you can't think or learn about one tool and assume that tool will be there forever.
Correct.
But you need to understand that concept.
Correct.
Adakke you have to have a fundamentals, right?
Correct.
So let anyone, even for me, right? The first thing that I do is my fundamentals in understanding the technology, any concept, right? So for me, I don't code anymore.
Yes.
Right. And if I need to build something, I go to either a cloud work or something to build that code.
Correct.
Right. So I do work for some of my friends. They need something for me, weekend project. I don't code anymore. Right. So for me, it is 100%.
Correct.
But I understand the concept required to build something.
Yeah.
Right. So and I get everything done through cloud work. So for me, if you are looking at doing something, and it doesn't matter if it is 2 years, 4 years, it's now almost a flat hierarchy tara agide.
Correct, sir.
Right. So 1 year developer will compete against a 6 year developer because there is enough resources available. So you will succeed only if you have your strong fundamentals to use AI better. So ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ
ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೋತ್.
ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೋತ್.
ಸೂಪರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಸರ್. ಅಗೇನ್ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನನಗೆ ಬಂದಿರೋದು, ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಸರ್. ಅದು ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಇದ್ದದ್ದೇ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಸ್ ಇವರದೆಲ್ಲ, ಇವರ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೇಳಿದವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೇಳೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೇ ಇನ್ ಡೇ ಔಟ್ ಸರ್. ಅಂತ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್ 18+ years ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಈಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಬರ್ನ್ ಔಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೂ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ದಿ ಹಸಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಟು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಟು ದ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ನೋಡಿದವರಿಂದ ಬರುವಾಗ ಆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬೇರೆನೆ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಪೋಕನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ ಏನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. I want to know about the risk factor of generative AI also. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡೌನ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Who are under risk, sir? Is it juniors or is it mid-level engineer? Because ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಸರ್. ನಾನು ಮೊನ್ನೊಂದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಸರ್, ಮೊನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋದೆ, ಒಂದು ಟಾಕ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತು. I don't see that spark in students what I used to see at least 4 years ago. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರ್ ಈಗರ್ ಸರ್, ನನ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಷನೆಟ್. ಈಗ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ, ಡು ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ದಿಸ್? ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆದೆ, ದಟ್ ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್. ನಾನು ಇದು ಕಲಿಲೇಬೇಕಾ? ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಜಾಬ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮೆಝಾನ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಲೇ ಆಫ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, TCS ಇಷ್ಟು ಲೇ ಆಫ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಿ. ಡೂ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್, ಇಫ್ ಡೂ ವಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಜಾಬ್? ಇಫ್ ಯೆಸ್, who are getting affected out of it?
ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ.
Okay.
ಬಟ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಅಟ್ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್,
Okay.
ಬಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ವೆದರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್.
Okay.
ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಸೋ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಇವತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಈ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ AI ಟೂಲ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಈಗ.
ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ. ನೀವು ನಿನ್ನೆನೆ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ಸಂಗ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ದೇರ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಫೋನ್.
Yes.
So if you look at some of the features, like I think one key demo was on WhatsApp chat, family chat, where people are talking about pizza toppings and all that.
Yes.
And you can build an agent which can look at the chat in the last 1 hour and order that pizza for you.
Clean.
I mean, you look at that's like personally how you have to change to use AI.
Correct.
So the same concept ನಮಗೆ ಡೆವಲಪರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, because you are after 5 years you may be challenged by somebody who is just 1 year 2 year experience.
Correct.
And now because of AI he is considered equal.
Correct.
ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಟೀಮಲ್ಲಿ in pre-sales, I don't look at experience as much.
Okay.
I look at capability. Like capability, interview ಹೋದ್ರು, if I'm doing interviews to someone, I am looking at their capability and interest to learn.
Correct, sir.
learn new things. Right? So my questions are usually to identify if they are ready to learn new things. Right? Because you might be 6 year or 8 year experience, but onesati if you stop learning.
Correct.
And stop adapting to that new things that are coming so fast, that is where it's
Lagging ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
you lag. Right? So then you might be 4 years, but 2 years later also I'll consider you as a 4
years experience.
Yeah. And then somebody else catches up.
Yeah.
So hagiruvaga I think the risk is for somebody who doesn't learn.
Okay.
So learning should not stop.
Okay.
And even for me, like 18 years ಹೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, but it doesn't stop learning there.
Definitely.
Right? So I have to keep learning, I have to keep changing, when I if I give you an example,
Yes, sir.
I thought that at some place one of the tools was bad.
Okay.
Right? It was not as much as it
Efficient.
it was not as efficient. It was advertised, right? And it was a popular tool, advertising was popular, but I always felt like I didn't propose it to the customer. Right? But then 1 year later, the more features they added, they changed the name and they relaunched that same product. And I'm not talking custom, like D2C products. These are enterprise products. So I had to change my view. Right? I had to relearn the product and now
Understand the new feature.
And then I felt, okay, this has improved enough that now I can tell it to the customer.
Awesome.
So it never stops for anyone.
Correct.
It doesn't. So senior level person becomes a strategist, but at a junior level you should understand how to solution things.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter for me whether you're a senior or a junior or a mid level. So keep learning. That is very important.
Yeah, evergreen thing.
Yes.
On a curious note, sir, you told about an interview part.
Yes.
Just now, I just want to touch base. We can wrap this question very fast. So, ತಾವೊಂದು assume that Mr. Adarsh Prabhu is interviewing a candidate, irrespective of engineers, be it senior, junior, or whatever. Since you told that you are going on a flat hierarchy level of hiring now, so ಹಾಗೆ ಈಗ ನಾನೊಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ನೀವು ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ತಗೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. What are the skills you want me to know? Assume that I come for a developer role. That is what most of the proportions of people who look into job roles are into development.
Yeah.
So development ಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ 2026 ಅಲ್ಲಿ probably ಇವತ್ತಿಂದನೇ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವೆಂತ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ?
First ನಾನು ನೋಡೋದು communication skills.
Okay.
How confident you are. Because now ಈಗ ಈ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ it is about how you present yourself.
Correct, sir.
So ನಾನು ನೋಡೋದು how will he build a brand for himself.
Okay.
So how will Manikanta be considered by a customer?
Correct.
Will the customer ask Manikanta, which leads to Nivius? So that's the first thing that I see.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
will Manikanta be a brand for Nivius?
Nivius, yes.
Right? Second thing I see is his foundation. I never ask somebody to solve a problem in an interview. I ask somebody to speak about that, how he is solving. Right? So I don't want him to type something.
Yeah.
Like even if I ask, my second question might be a technical question, but it usually I ask the person, ಏನ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, you tell me, you talk about what you are writing. Right? So that tells me about how is he analyzing the problem, right? Because if he's only thinking in terms of Java, C#, that's not a good person for me.
Correct.
But if he's talking about algorithm, like he's talking about, I'm trying to book a ticket and I'm trying to loop in number of buses from Mangalore to Bangalore.
Correct.
ಆ ಥರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋರು ಇದ್ರೆ, like that is a quick plus for me.
Correct.
Right? I would really stop asking him any questions. I don't want him to solve the problem in C# or .NET.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to just say, okay, you are thinking the problem rather than the technical implementation.
Yeah. Syntactically, you can solve more.
You can teach anyone that.
Yeah.
Right? You can teach anyone to write in Java.
Yeah.
But you can't teach anyone to write.
How to think in Java. How to think to solve a problem.
To solve a problem.
Yes.
So solving a problem becomes my biggest evaluation criteria. Then the third thing, like I answered in the previous question, learning.
Yeah. Keep updating.
Like what have they done till now, which is not part of their daily job.
Correct.
Right? I asked, okay, hobby ಏನು ನೀವು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಾದರೂ have you coded? And it doesn't need to be coding. It can be that, okay, as I said, I help my friends to, if my friends want any website or hotel ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, they might be into traveling, they might have a shop, I create an app for them. That's a hobby. Right? But if somebody does that in their free time or which is not part of their work, which means they are trying to learn, right? Somebody gives me a hint that they are even doing that, then that's a big plus.
Okay.
Right? But like over the years I've learned to differentiate between a fake and a
real.
Yakandre, now if somebody sees my podcast, that'll be the first thing that they'll tell me, right? If they see this podcast. So we like by experience we understand when they are faking it and when they are not.
That's the power of experience.
Power of experience. So experience counts only there,
by looking into people, human resource.
Yeah. Okay. Because we find a lot of people who try to be good at the interview, but we have also caught up with them.
Now we are also good in interviewing also. Awesome. Very valid points. 2 to 3. I think making your fundamentals strong is very important to sustain probably in anywhere in IT industry is what IT need not be IT also. Anywhere.
It is very important that your fundamental is strong.
Very nice. Sir, we are in the world of LLMs. LLMs ನಮಗೆ ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂತ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂತ ಆನ್ಸರ್. It all depends on what we feed to the LLM. So LLM, I consider it as just a dummy thing, which only reciprocates when you talk to it in a better way. And the dull person ತರ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಅವರ ಹತ್ರ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನೊಂದು dull people ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿರುವಂತ ವಿಷಯ, when I say dull people who are kind of introvert, when you talk to them beautifully, they talk to us beautifully also. So ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಮೆಷಿನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು LLM ಬಗ್ಗೆ. My point is towards prompt engineering. Right. So how do you communicate with an LLM is via prompts, or you can do it via coding also. That's the other way part, because which most of the people don't consume that way. But prompt ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ, how relevant is prompt engineering in 2026? Not only in terms of the skills, but also in terms of profession. When I say profession, sir, ಒಂದು ರೋಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡೋದಂತಿದ್ರೆ, so can you please talk about prompt engineering?
So it has changed a lot. Now starting ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ I think anybody and everybody was doing prompt engineering.
Okay.
But it was not actually prompt engineering. They were just giving prompts.
Correct.
Okay.
So what's the difference, sir?
So just giving prompts is like, for the LLM to work in a certain way, you have to do something. That has to be provided to the LLM, and somebody called it prompt, so we are giving that instruction. Okay. So it was mostly instruction, right? But now what has happened is people learn about what is the right prompt to get the right answer. If I give you an analogy, I think when in the 2000s when Google just started, Google search just started, getting the right answer was about how you put the question to Google.
Correct.
Right? And smart people always got the best answer.
Okay.
Right? But Google has slowly become or slowly changed in such a way that it helps the person ಈಗ suggestion ಬರುತ್ತೆ
ಹೌದು ಹೌದು
yeah, because if you think why Google brought that thing is to make people intelligent,
correct,
right? So it made sure that you write the right question to get the right answer. Right now, like instead of 20% people being intelligent and 80% people not being intelligent to get that right answer, it has switched to 80 and 20. Right, so same thing on the prompt engineering. I think only 20% used to give the right prompts, and rest of them used to just write English. Like they knew copy paste ಮಾಡಿ, I mean chat GPT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ give me a prompt to do this task.
Prompting ಇನ್ನೊಂದು prompt ಕೊಡುದು.
Prompt ಕೊಡುದು, and then you take it to an LLM and put that prompt.
Correct.
So you were doing it just to get the job done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Just to get an output. ಈಗ ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ. I think it has become very important.
Techniques ಇದೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಸುಮಾರು?
Techniques ಇದೆ. You can learn it, and it is very important to run. I mean for security as well.
Okay.
So to ensure that the responses are consistent, right? Hallucinations ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. So to do all that, prompt engineering has become very important.
Context ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರಲ್ಲ,
Context ಕೊಡೋದು. So
engineering part.
ಹೌದು. So it's very important. We may not need too many prompt engineers, but we need
solid guys.
So I can also say many people will need to know prompt engineering. Okay. If your core task is to build an app, but you need an answer from an LLM, you need to know basics.
Correct.
So only you can still do a chat GPT prompt and give the prompt here. But if you are working on the core agent concepts and LLM, then you need systemic prompting.
Okay.
So prompt engineering and all.
So you mean to say opportunities are there, but you have to be excel in that.
You have to excel. You can go very deep, or you can stay at the surface and do
normal prompting like us.
You can, but then you are not doing much.
Okay.
So you are solving basic problems.
Okay. Sir, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ, ವಿಲ್ ಕಟ್ ದೇರ್, ಮಾತಾಡುವ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. I wanted to know more about your community works in Mangalore, sir. I think even you also wish to talk more about your community. Kudos that you are contributing back to the society, sir. Of course, New Year's ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ, you are taking Mangalore into global space now. It's been acquired by Entity Data. We are very much proud to say that. I think ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ just ಮುಗ್ದದಂತ, ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 2025 ಅಲ್ಲಿ acquired ಆಗಿರೋದು. So very proud about New Year's. But more than that, sir, you as an individual, you're contributing to the community in Mangalore. So I want you to extensively talk about it, sir. What are those? Because that would be better if you could only let our audience know about it. What are the communities you drive? ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇನ್ ಮೋಟೋ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟೀಸ್, ಇದು ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೂ ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಡು ಗೆಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ, which I want everyone to know, and so that people can really apply if in case if they're really interested to learn more about it. So please, sir.
I mean I have co-founded 2 communities. Google Developer Groups is one of the prominent ones. Google Developer Group alli, if anyone in the audience wants to know, it is about creating the community. So how it started is we were always thinking about how to grow Google developers in Mangalore, right? So the interest was created within EVS about how Google cloud knowledge can be generalized within Mangalore, Udupi and Kasaragod. Right? We look at these 3 districts as the core, right? So and we look at growing this area. And if this area has to grow for us, we need developers to know about the technology. And we are doing cutting edge work from Mangalore, right? So we have done, like if you look at our customer base, like the Mahindras, the large banks in India, the problems that we have solved have been spoken by Thomas Kurian in Las Vegas, right? So he picks only 1 or 2 use cases every year, and in that 2023 ಅಲ್ಲಿ Google Cloud Next anta ide, he spoke about the Mahindra use case that we have delivered from Mangalore.
Oh, okay.
So he spoke about how 100,000 vehicles Scorpio
Correct.
was ordered within 60 minutes.
1 hour.
1 laksha vehicle, right? So that ordering system was built here. And to scale up for Nevius or for entity data now, we had to create this community for Google developers, right? Because everybody had to know cloud. So that is why we created this Google developer community, which or group, right? And it's nothing to do with Nevius. It is just that, okay, we thought we have to create this community, and this community will create a pool of developers who will know cloud.
Correct.
And who will know AI. And the opportunity for people in the city is we bring in speakers from around India, around and maybe in the future around the globe, to who are pioneers in their field.
Awesome, sir.
So it's a good opportunity to learn about how things are changing in the AI, the cloud and infrastructure area. And in the GDG community itself, we have close to 2,000 people registered.
Fantastic.
So if somebody wants to register, you just have to go to Google, type in Google Developer Groups Mangalore, and you get a link and register for that. We almost try to keep one community gathering every month, and 2 large events every year where more than 1,000 people participate.
Awesome. So we would like to put that in the description of this video. So we will be dropping the link there. And any people who are wishing to join, please, guys, I think what the community have understood that we do have talent.
Yes.
But bringing all the talented people under one roof and building something back is something really appreciable, sir. So kudos to your hard work you put there, you and your entire team. And even I would like to join that particular community and probably have talks, or we can do some very interesting workshops. Even we are into cloud and stuff, so we can do some very interesting workshops and try to get the momentum forward. Awesome. So coming back to the questions, sir, we are back to back to cloud now. We'll take a small break from generative AI. What are your perspective or your thoughts on cloud and DevOps? How relevant is it right now? I understand the amount of cloud and DevOps is significantly increasing because of AI.
Yes.
Many people have told that AI would replace this kind of job, but AI completely relies on cloud and DevOps. So I want you, since you are a pioneer in cloud infra, that's what I know about you. So I would want you to talk more about cloud DevOps and its relevance in 2026 and how it can scale and the opportunities we can create in cloud DevOps probably in next 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, definitely. So cloud DevOps is here to stay, but it will change the way we do things.
Okay.
Right? ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈಗ many things are manual. I think the most automation that we do is Terraform. Infrastructure as code. That will be that might be the most automation that anyone does on DevOps. But ಈಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I think there is lot of predictive maintenance, like agents that are coming up to do predictive maintenance, look at logs, find anomalies before things fail. ಹೇಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ analyze ಮಾಡಿ identify ಮಾಡಿ instead of failure, how do you prevent a failure, right? Or as soon as there is a failure, how do you automatically recover from it? So those are things that will change for DevOps, right? So your understanding about how you we sometimes call it passive DevOps, right? You don't have to be actively looking at screen, continuous agi screen adu, okay, is there an event, look at the event, identify what is happening. That might not be there. So it will end up being passive work, but intelligent work. So you need to know how agents will work, how agents will look at the logs and identify. So you should still be there. You are definitely required. Monitoring beku. You have to monitor the LLM or the agent that is doing the task, because you don't know if they are doing it right.
Correct.
So you can't. We have not reached the stage of artificial general intelligence where they can AGI. We have not reached that.
Correct.
We are slowly going towards that.
Correct.
And maybe not slowly. We are going very fast towards that, but it's still a long way out, right? So you still need to be a DevOps who will look after a set of agents. So one agent irlikilla. You have set of of agents, a swarm of agents who work together to complete a task. Because ಈಗ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ I think with the AI, the biggest play is infrastructure, right? Because services are all automated.
Correct.
App building is automated, right? So automated ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it is not what you did. Like when I started one project ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, it would have taken almost a year and a half. If I estimate it now, I will do it in 2 months.
Correct.
Right? Or the expectation is that you do it in 2 months.
Correct.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಂದೂವರೆ ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ 2 months we have come. Right?
Yeah.
This is 18 years. There's a 18 years difference.
Correct.
But we have come to that level. And infrastructure is still a big play when it comes to AI. Right? So ಈಗ ಕೆಲವು government companies, I mean, AI summit ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು, there was lot of talks about sovereign AI, which means like India wants to implement data centers in India so that the data doesn't go out, or we are self-sufficient in terms of running AI workloads. It's not the same.
100 plus billions of invest ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ for GPUs is what I heard about.
So our company Entity Data is a data center company. Close to 20% of internet goes through our cables, our infrastructure, our network. So we are also looking at how to invest in India, and it's not just India. Every country is looking at how to build infrastructure that is self-sufficient within India and within the country sovereignty. So ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ the biggest play around is going to be infra.
Correct.
But 6 ತಿಂಗಳು ಮುಂಚೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಕೆಲಸ it might not be the same. So again the same logic will apply. You have to keep yourself updated, and your work might shift from ಇದು ನಮ್ದು like monitoring dashboards to monitoring agents.
Okay.
So how agents are performing. So that might be the shift.
Heavy lifting will be done by the agents.
Okay. So AI agents irbodu. So there might be an agent to just monitor.
Correct.
There might be an agent to look at tickets, requests, and then do a task.
Kubernetes pods ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೋಯ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. Okay, nice sir. Nice. Thank you. That was a detailed information there. Most of the companies implement generative AI. So now, what I understand is that recently, 3-4 days back, I spoke to one of the co-founder of a company. I don't want to mention the name. And when we spoke, he is also willing to do everything via agents. So he was talking about what can be the downsides. We had a very, very fundamental kind of a discussion. Can you please let me know, sir, if you are implementing agents or agentic AI for that matter in any company, what can be the downsides of implementing it? If it is not implemented correctly, what can be the downsides from that?
See, now if I look at it, everybody is looking at solution, but nobody is looking at security.
Oh, yes, sir.
So security is something that will now be the frontier, like the biggest problem that anybody will face in terms of agentic AI or generative AI, because nobody has thought about it a lot. ಈಗ ನಾವು implementation ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಈಗ ticket booking is in under 1 minute, or recipe ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ it is under 1 minute.
Food order
ಮಾಡೋದು under 1 minute, but nobody saw what happens if that security is not done right.
Correct.
ನಮ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ. It is just if things are not done right, then you're feeding the bad actors.
Correct.
So I think security will be the forefront of most of the enterprises. They will think about how to securely give a service to the end customer. Data governance is another thing, because data is the underlying foundation factor to anything. Right? So if you look at like Blinkit ali 10 minutes al order ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, but that is because they have the data in the right structure. I'm not just talking about Blinkit, but anybody who wants to give a service, right? As long as the data is there, right, they have to predict what you'll order, right, before you order. Like they 10 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 1 minute ಅಲ್ಲಿ, or as soon as you click on submit, you have to pick and pack ಮಾಡಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, because most amount of time is taken in driving. Right? So think about the amount of time that he has to just pick it from a rack and put it. So ಆ ತರ ನೋಡುವಾಗ I think data governance will be the another key thing, because ಈಗ what people have done is whatever is data is available, they have put in a data warehouse, and let's figure it out when we want to use it. That won't work anymore, like, because AI agents are as good as the data that is there.
Correct.
So data governance and security will be the important things, otherwise things will start failing.
Correct. So you mean to say security and data governance are the two important things, foundations, they have to be very strong. Nice, sir. Nice. So from the manager perspective, ಈಗ ನೋಡುವಾಗ when I say manager, the tech lead or the product manager, whoever is trying to manage a team, ಅವರು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಜೆನ್ ಎಐಗೆ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಏಜೆಂಟಿಕ್ ಎಐ, ರಾದರ್ ದನ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ರೀಪ್ಲೇಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡೆವಲಪರ್ಸ್. ಐ ನೋ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಟ್ರಿಕಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್, ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್. ನೀವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ, when I say level, the levels in the organization ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು, ನಾಟ್ ದಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮೀ ಹಿಯರ್, ಎಂತ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂದ, ನೀವು ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರೋ ಕಾರಣ, ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಅವರ ಟೀಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಜೆನ್ಎಐ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ರಾದರ್ ದನ್ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೆವಲಪರ್. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಹಿ ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ಮೆಜರ್ ಇನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಟೀಮ್, which indirectly will invest heavily on your company also.
Yeah. So I think one important thing is adopting technology where it is available.
Okay.
So it need not be just coding al matra alla developer. See, one is we are trying to see if we need a product manager or we need a project manager or we need a AI product owner.
Correct.
Like somebody who understands the product, so you know exactly what you're managing.
Correct.
Ishtu tanaka we were only managing story, Jira stories, task irbodu. You are looking at very transactional level.
Correct.
But now we are expecting the new, I mean, it's not just Nevius, right? So the companies are expecting project managers to do much more than just manage people.
Correct.
They are managing tasks or managing the solution is becoming very important. So with that, the advantage comes is they understand how people are solving that problem.
Right.
So I spoke about 30% code being written by AI, but that is not the only place. Like, are you understanding the requirement right? Customer ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, that is very important. Right? And that is the biggest problem that we have right now, because we are not understanding the requirement.
Correct.
Starting ಮಾಡಿ code ಮಾಡಿ
problem statement ಅರ್ಥ
ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. So we use AI to understand also. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ we have 3 phases. We have discovery, we have development, and then we have testing.
Correct.
And then deployment alla irutte. But for a development team, these are the 3 key phases. So discovery also we use some tools to help them identify and understand it better. So you can ask questions.
Correct.
We have tools that understand the scope and write the requirement and can explain you the requirement.
Correct.
So you can ask, okay, what will happen if they enter a wrong mail ID? What should happen? So it will go to the requirement document and say it should show a message like this.
Correct.
So I mean, this is very simple, but in a complex requirement, it helps. Like, it helps to open up the requirement for one person. So the project manager has to identify if this team person has to use that tool.
Correct.
Right? How much has he used that tool? Right? And then they can use these AI development tools to identify dependencies. The biggest problem in project management was identifying what can happen that can like delay the project. Even construction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು, you simulate things. It's called digital twin.
Correct.
Right? So digital twin will help you put in risks like iron ore price ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, or cement availability ಇಲ್ಲ, manpower ಇಲ್ಲ. If say truck strike ಆಯ್ತು, what happens if there is a week where there is no cement load?
Correct.
So they know that, okay, this will result in a delay of the project by 2 weeks. Right? So ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ I think same thing has to come into our side as well, where we are talking about technology which is changing very fast, and we need to identify what can break very fast. Right? So a project manager has to now start using these tools to break the system and know, like, without breaking the system,
Correct.
to identify what are the risks in the project, right? And that risk can be a risk for the development team as well.
Correct.
So they have to be adaptable as well. It's
Correct.
not just developers. Project managers, so they have to use the tools.
Yeah, awesome. I think all the product managers or the team leads who are there, this will be the right strategy for you. You can use in order to at least scale your product much more faster. Is what I believe. Nice, sir. So we are moving on to the later stages of our podcast discussion. I think we do have a time limit. We can talk for there is a lot hours easily, sir. With the amount of knowledge you have, I think couple of hours would be like, it will go this way, right? Now moving on. According to you, sir, this is purely based on what you think. I want to know what might be the jobs that might get replaced in next 3 years. Purely on your understanding, your evaluation of industry, how it is moving. Give me three jobs, or I don't know. You can take a call. Which jobs are in risks?
I won't say replace.
Okay.
But it'll change the way how it works right now.
Okay.
So I think one is testing.
Manual testing. Okay.
So manual testing, I think, will not be the same
as it used to be. Okay.
Mainly because, see, if you look at it, for me, anything that takes a lot of hard work will be solved by agents.
Okay.
It should be solved by agents,
okay,
right? And testing is one.
Repetitive task,
repetitive task is manual testing is all those things will cease to exist, right? Or will just change. So you have to identify what is the best way of
dealing things.
Yes. How you change yourself. Yeah. I think the other way would be, I think, the way project management is done also might change a lot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. For me, I think you can't just be a person who like manages people. People management, I think, will get very transactional and may not be the same. So rather than being obsolete, it will change the way
it might.
Our ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದು change ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Different ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
It will not be that they will be replaced by agents. I mean, there is a pressure on me to identify who has to be replaced and optimized.
Okay.
But I don't think we are there yet. But we just have to. The team structure will change.
Okay.
Spotify or someone, they run something called as tribes. Yeah. So instead of pods, so pod is the most common, but they do tribes. Everybody does almost everything.
Correct.
Or it's not exactly like that, but it's different from how we have done software development munche. But it's adaptable, right? So it changes to the demands of what you need to provide. And I feel these two roles at least will change a lot, along with others. I think developer kuda, I think you might have heard about vibe coding. So you need to be ahead of the curve. You need to think, like, vibe coding is a concept where you're thinking AI agent is your assistant.
Correct.
Right? Not your competitor.
Correct.
So it's like munche buddy programming.
Correct. Peer-to-peer
reviewer like, but now the other peer is AI agent.
Yes.
Right? So that also might be different from the way that we are doing now.
Yes.
So most of the rules will change in some way. May or may not be obsolete, but it might happen where you might need less people to do the same amount of work, or you might need them to adapt to a totally different role.
Okay.
I think first example on JCB, the JCB use ಮಾಡಿ, I mean, there were so many laborers who lost their jobs.
Yes.
But actually they didn't lose their job. They are doing something else.
Yes.
Like they are doing something productive.
Correct.
Right? You don't need them to do the same amount of work. The same thing will happen here.
Okay.
Right? So they will do more skilled jobs rather than unskilled. So they have changed from unskilled labor to skilled labor.
Correct.
Which is more productive to the nation.
Correct. Long run ನೋಡುವಾಗ I think it will more productive. Okay. Very nice, sir. So next question is kind of from my end, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿರೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂದ ಕೇಳೋದು, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಒಳಗಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಎಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೂನಿಯರ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಫ್ you assume that Mr. Adarsh Prabhu is a 2 years experienced engineer, we'll call it that way. What might be the technologies you are going to learn in next 12 months?
So I think I'll learn agents, how to build agents, how to orchestrate agents. I think what will be the next step is agent orchestration. Like it has become very easy to build agents now.
Yes.
But orchestration of agents either through MCP or Google has some tools. So I'm going to learn about that. So I mean, even though I'm not a 1 year, 2 year experience, I'm going to a workshop where I'm learning about orchestration of agents. ಹೇಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ I think until now we are doing a lot of task-based things. Okay, something like like generative AI is just read only ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, right? Content create ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. It will give you assistance, research. It'll do a research and give you help on that. It's basically read only, right? And suddenly agents we went into an agentic workflow where we switched from read only to write also. Okay, right? You are doing tasks, right? So an agent is something that can do things.
Yes,
right? It can go and book. It can go and it can go and do ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ you do a task, it can do that. Right? So we went into that, and now it's become very common or very easy to build agents. Right? The next step is going to be building an agent orchestration, and new things are going to come in agent orchestration. So we have moved from information gathering to tasks to now solutioning. Right? Solutioning ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it's like you'll have tools, resources and data sources. So they will decide on their own. Like they will have a swarm of agents, and you just need to create that workflow or something that will say, okay, ನಾನು ಪಿಜ್ಜಾ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ಸಂಗ್ S26 ಲಾಂಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ looking at all the conversations in the last 1 hour, and creating a menu, looking at maybe Domino's or Pizza Hut, identifying what is the closest menu or item in their menu which matches that, and then place an order also. And it might not be one agent. And to do this, like this is a good example of orchestration. It is like there is one agent that goes to WhatsApp and collects all the information. Another agent which is just accumulating that information and creating the pizza which has to be ordered. Third agent is going to Domino's or Pizza Hut and placing that order. Right? So that is something that I learned right now, is if I
right time.
And this can be in development, it can be in DevOps. Like even in DevOps it can be the same thing. It is about, okay, ನಾನು predictive maintenance ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. It is like I need to understand where I can use it. And how these 10 things will work together to solve a problem. So that will be the next step if I have to learn.
So pretty much agentic AI,
but for solutioning.
Okay. Agentic AI for solution is the thing which is going to learn. So what is yours? Please drop in the comment section. Okay. Fine, sir. Thank you so much for all this information. It was such a privilege for me to sit in front of you and understand a lot. The analogy, the examples, whatever you have given was kind of gold dust for us. Before we wrap up, your thoughts on Nivius, right? Your company which you're working in. If you want, you can add any of the products which you guys are planning to build, or what are you up to, or what are the next step for Nivius, major steps. We can talk about that also, sir.
Yeah, I think Nivius, I mean, our founders were always the main thing that they wanted to do was build something for Mangalore, right? And we wanted build something in Mangalore. So we always wanted to have this company that solves complex problems from Mangalore, right? Mangalore and Udupi. I mean, we started in Udupi. Right? So, and both these places have almost 80% of our people. And as part of entity also, we are going this region, right? And we want our students here in Mangalore to have that opportunity to ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು
ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ
ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಟ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಏಜೆಂಟಿಕ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್.
ಓ ನೈಸ್.
Right, so if you still want to work on it, we are doing that here, and we just need skill, right? So there'll be interviews are tough at Navies.
Yes.
We try to keep it tough at some critical roles,
Okay.
but we are just I explained the I gave the cheat sheet,
Yes,
what
yes.
I'm looking at
Yes,
when I'm
yes,
hiring,
yes,
right?
yes.
So you know what you have to do
Yeah.
to get hired, but I think we'll be growing in Mangalore. We look at this region, I mean, all our community work is around growing tech in this region. We also are title sponsors for Mangalore Marathon.
Oh yes.
So
Sir.
as Navies Mangalore Marathon. So it is about telling people that, okay, we are here for this region, and we'll grow big from this region, right? So as part of entity is big, almost one of the biggest, by revenue, biggest IT companies in the world, with business around 30 billion.
Oh.
So, and R&D itself is around $3 billion per year, which is one of the largest R&D spending for any IT company.
Okay.
And that's the scale that we are looking to grow in Mangalore and region. So we look forward. I think more than Navies, I think something close to my heart is growing community.
Definitely,
and club. So anybody wants to learn anything, just ping me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I don't guarantee jobs, but I guarantee a good community that can create
Support.
jobs here, that can support jobs here. So, and that's the same fundamental that Navies is built on.
Okay.
And entity wants us to give that culture into entity, not bring their culture
Oh,
here.
nice,
Which,
nice.
which when we explained all these community events, right, they were really happy.
Oh, okay.
And it can't be done so easily in a small community like here, because when we told them, okay, we have 2,000 community members for Google developer groups, and which is for a tier 2 city very, very big.
Correct.
Right? So somebody to be interested in one technology, and that we'll grow that.
No.
Right? We'll grow this community, we'll grow in this community.
Yeah.
And for the 3 districts around here, I think we want to be that go-to company which
Awesome.
works on, we are not just delivering apps, we are delivering AI apps, we are delivering agentic AI. So want to keep it very interesting for students as well.
Okay.
Like only money can't keep people working for you or happy for you, but I think that cutting edge work, and no need of going to Bengaluru hogi, Mangalore idu Mumbai hogi, you don't kelsa maadi. It's not that. You have cutting edge work in Mangalore, and we want to bring that here, and we want to keep that alive.
Awesome. Fine. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I totally understand how busy you are. You came here, you spoke. We literally spoke for more than 45 minutes. The time hodade gottagilla, because with a lot of new things which I understood from your, I wanted few things from your head also, which I believe I got. Right? And thank you so much for making here, and wishing you and entire Navies team a lot of success ahead. It's a long way going. It's, I think, I'm very proud to say that I come from a place where I have a company called as Navies. So I try to empower students by telling that there is a huge company here which works on all the technologies possible, right? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. And it's been backed by and supported by one of, as you rightly mentioned, one of the biggest companies in the world, that is Entity Data. So thank you so much, sir, once again. And it was a pleasure talking, and hopefully we can connect soon in your community, and we can work it together. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.